13-63, State versus Andrew Morris, possession of controlled substances, fleeing, obstructing governmental operations. 12-32, delivery of controlled substances. Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're here for an arraignment, and your attorney's entered pleas of not guilty. On the newer case, 13-63, I set him down to reappear on May 23rd. And it's 12-32, a revocation.
Yes, Judge.
Set a hearing on April 11th. 13-64, State versus Jacob White, breaking or entering and theft. 12-253, theft and defacing a firearm. Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender to represent you. I've appointed the Public Defender to represent you, and you're appearing for an arraignment.
That's correct, Your Honor. We'll waive reading of the information on the new charges, enter a plea of not guilty. These charges have been previously set for trial, I believe, maybe even next week. They were for disposition today. Unfortunately, this occurrence popped up, so I will need some more time to come to an agreement with the state if we are to come to an agreement. We'll move for continuance, Judge.
All right. In the 13-64, that's before Judge Webb. I'll schedule him to reappear on April 4th. And then 12-253, I'll just note that there's no action at this time.
That's right, Judge.
Well, I guess he has 12-245 also, doesn't
He does, Judge, and there should have been a motion. He was just asking me about his bond by the state to revoke his bond, and I think an order's been signed. We're not going to contest that at this time.
All right. Is there a hearing set in Hampton?
Judge, we can take it up. I think that if we could, Mr. Hampton's here, we can bring him in.
He's Terry Hampton from the penitentiary. He's in White. Yeah.
I believe Mr. Hampton filed a motion for return of property. This stems from 2006 arrest, and I believe his plea agreement in 2008. The state of Arkansas did seize $575 from Mr. Hampton. I believe that everything else that his complaint speaks to is property that was, I think, a repossessed truck by Discount Towing and Mr. Jamie Mann. And I was on the phone with Mr. Mann this morning, and Mr. Mann told me that he did repossess a 1996 truck that belonged to Mr. Hampton. That was done at the request of the lien holders. And the property inside he held on to for 10 days until, I want to say, a bondsman by the name of Ron Marshall came and took it. And it was his belief that the bondsman sold that property. But in terms of motion for return of any property, the state of Arkansas does not have anything that belongs to Mr. Hampton. It was forfeited by his own signature. We took $575 from this gentleman.
Hold on just a minute. Let me find the documents in the file I'm looking for.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
the vehicle that supposedly was repossessed was not repossessed. We own that pickup. It wasn't like it was bought from a car lot or Jamie Mann or anyone else. My family owned that truck, and when I got with Valerie Hodges, my mother and father had it put in her name because at the time I didn't have a driver's license, but they was first lien holders on it. So when the title went to Little Rock, my parents got the title back, and I have it right here in their name. So Valerie Hodges never paid for the truck, and so when it was impounded to Discount Towing, my parents took the title to go get their vehicle, and Jamie Mann didn't want to release it. And Valerie had signed a bond or something and put the truck up without producing the title. She didn't own the truck. She was buying it and never paid for it. I have a title right here. So it actually belonged to my parents, and Jamie Mann should have released it to my parents, but he didn't. He released it to Ron Marshall in some way. Mr. Marshall went to the revenue office, and somebody there issued him a title for it some way, and he sold the truck.
All right. Hold on. If it's your parents' truck, then you have no standing to claim it. Your parents need to be claiming it.
Okay, well, at the time, I also filed a Class D felony theft report against Jamie Mann. I made a theft report of over $1,100 and something worth of tools that was in the truck that belonged to me, and my mother went to get them, and Jamie Mann wouldn't release them. I filed a Class D felony theft report against him. I've never heard anything about it, and I haven't got my tools back.
Your Honor, while Mr. Hampton may have certainly a cause of action against somebody, and certainly he's got a complaint against somebody, it would not include the state of Arkansas.
When I pled for this 6 years ADC time, without my knowing it, the property was forfeited for some reason by Baxter County.
No,
Do you have a police statement in the file? I can't find one in the...
Judge, the only property that was forfeited was $575.
That was 3 years ago, Your Honor. We're talking about a different instance.
I'll just call your case later. I need to look at the documents.
Thank you,
on it.
sir.
It sounds like you may not be the real party in interest, as the law describes it.